Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. I welcome you all for the 844th meeting of the Chennai Toastmaster Club. The mission of Chennai Toastmaster Club is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to improve their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before moving into meeting, I would like to brief certain rules to be followed. Please make sure that your mobile phone are in a silent mode. Can you make sure it is in silent mode? Please do not talk about three topics, which is politics, sex, and religion. Those attending online, you please make sure that you sit in a silent atmosphere for a better meeting experience. And if your turn, please unmute and speak. With this, I hand over the meeting to our presiding officer, our club president, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan is a mechanical engineer by qualification and software engineer by profession. I welcome Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan.
Thank you. Thank you, Sajana Thomas, for your kind words. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and my dear friends. Let me begin with a small story which you already know. I'm going to tell it in a different style. There was a boy who likes peanut a lot, but his mother stopped him having any peanuts because he was allergic to peanuts. But he once noticed in his grandma's room, there is a jar full of peanuts. So he once secretly went, he took a bunch of peanuts, started chewing it, and then went and confessed to her grandma. Grandma, do you know? I have a secret to share with you. You should not share with my mom. Yeah, tell me, what is it? You have a peanuts in a jar. I'm eating it without your knowledge. Please don't tell to your mom. She said, don't worry about it. I'm not going to have the peanuts. I like only the chocolate wrap on it. I consume the chocolate and left the peanut. You can have as much as they want. And immediately spit all the peanuts. The reason I'm saying is today, September 11th is also known as National Grandparents' Day. So let's remember all the good things we learned from our grandparents and let's change this day. And with that note, I formally declare open the meeting number 844 of Chennai Toastmasters. So I would like to recognize the presence of our distinguished Toastmaster Sriram, who is here to help us understand more on humorous speech contest and how to is humorous speech contest. Thank you and welcome once again. Before starting a meeting, let's have a guest introduction. Do you have any guests here? No, not in here. So we have guests online. Guest Dikshit. Dikshit, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Myself, Dikshit. I completed my BTech in SRM University Chemical Engineering Department. So I doing job in my hometown Bangalore. So I'm interested in the Toastmaster. So to improve my English language and confidence skills to confident level. And so this may.
Welcome, Dikshit. You will enjoy your meeting and I'll get back to you again by the end of the meeting to get your feedback and sessions. Thank you.
Thanks.
And guest Hemanjali Adini. Could you please introduce yourself? You are on mute.
Hi everyone, I'm Adini Hemanjali. I am a recent graduate from Satyabama University. I am currently working as associate test engineer in Ernst & Young.
Thank you, Hemanjali.
Thank you.
I'll get back to you again by the end of the meeting. Enjoy the meeting.
Thank you.
We have one more guest, just Deepak. Yes, Deepak, can you introduce yourself?
Hey, myself.
Hi, welcome back.
Hi. Thank you. Hey, my name is Deepak. I've been to Toastmaster as a guest for one time or a two time. I'm currently working in a BPO called Sai Systems, Chennai. And this is the second time I'm coming. Last time I came, but due to some circumstances, I was not able to attend other meetings. So I'm back once again.
Thank you, Deepak. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this meeting. So now it's time to start the meeting. And today we have our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Naveen, to give a few words about Naveen. Naveen is a very sincere and passionate Toastmaster. He's been the past secretary, the current vice president of education, and he has taken contest chair role, contest master role several times, both at area level and also division level. I welcome Toastmaster Naveen to take over the stage.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today, as a Toastmasters meeting, we have the three segments. First segment is the prepared speech segment, where the speakers will present their prepared speech along with their pathways. And second segment will be our table topic segments, where the table topic master will give you some topics to develop your impromptu speech. And third part will be our evaluation segment. And along with that, we have the educational session conducted by our distinguished Toastmaster Sriram for how to ace our humorous contest. And along with that, we have a general evaluator to evaluate overall performance of the meeting. So I would like to welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster Palnisamy, to introduce his teams.
Good evening all once again. The role of the general evaluator is to observe the entire meeting and give feedback, give constructive feedback at the end of the meeting for the overall improvement of the meeting. And the general evaluator have two teams to support the prepared speech session. One is tag team, which consists of timer, counter, and grammarian. Then prepared speech evaluators. Why evaluation is important? If we need to grow, we need to learn. And self-learning alone will not be sufficient. We need to reflect upon our learning, and also we need to get evaluation and feedback from others to know what are all the missing parts in our growth area. So as a prepared speaker, the evaluation process will support them in various aspects, like a timer will evaluate to make sure that the speeches are delivered on time. And the counter role is to give the prepared speakers how well they are using, how well they are delivering the speech without the unnecessary filler words. And the grammarian will support in overall observing the grammatical usage of the. So I welcome the timer Anirudh to brief his roles. Anirudh is a BTech second year student studying artificial intelligence and data science, and his interest is watching movies and geopolitics. I welcome Anirudh to explain his role objectives.
Am I audible? Am I audible to everyone? Thank you, Toastmaster Palnisamy. Any speech when anyone gives, it has many different aspects. the speech can be really good. The usage of words can be really good. But then if the speech goes very long, like more than 10 minutes, people lose interest immediately. And if the speech is too less, again, people will not have any idea on what the speaker is actually trying to convey. Therefore, timing in a speech is very important. And therefore, as timer, I'm here to help you keep track of your time. For the prepared speech segment, I will show the green card when 5 minutes gets over. I'll show the yellow card when 6 minutes gets over. And I'll show the red card when 7 minutes gets over. Please note that there's a grace time of 30 seconds for each speaker. And when it comes to table topics, the green card will be shown at 1 minute. The yellow card is shown at 1 minute 30 seconds. And the red card is shown as at 2 minutes. Thank you. And over to you.
Thank you, Anirudh. Next is our counter Toastmaster Karthik. Toastmaster Karthik is assistant manager in Nissan Cars and his interest is reading books. I welcome Toastmaster Karthik to brief his role objective. Welcome.
So good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. So today I am an counter. So the purpose of the counter is note any overdue used and filler sounds such as crunch, anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjection such as and, well, but, so. Sound may be during the evaluation portion of the meeting. I will report the observation called upon. Thank you, Mr. Palanchi. Over to you.
Thank you. Now I would like to call Toastmaster Lakshmi to brief her role objective. Toastmaster Lakshmi, somebody is working in News 7 Tamil channel as a correspondent. Her interest is snowballing and reading. I welcome Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So good evening, everyone. Word of the day, agliter, meaning glittering, especially with reflected light. So my role is today's Grammarian Report. Basically, as a grammarian, it is my responsibility to introduce the word of the day. And then the next duty is to pay close attention to all the speakers, listening carefully to their languages and their usage of words. I will take note of any misuse of English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. And I will report who called upon the general evaluator. Thank you and all the very best to everyone.
Thank you, Rajalakshmi. With this, I hand over the proceeding to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Naveen Raj.
Before moving upon to the prepared speech session, let's have a quick, like a game session or anything. And I have a sentence. So if anybody want to explain its meaning or like the same, if you want to share another sentence, then the floor is open. Buffalo, 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 and buffalo, buffalo, buffalo. It's the sentence fully filled with only one word, buffalo, and we want to add same buffalo like 8 times. Buffalo, 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 and buffalo, 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 buffalo. While read upon the same sentence, I am also having the same excitement to check whether that sentence is first grammatically correct or not. Then according to the Google, it is the grammatically correct, and it will be explained by like connecting a first noun is the meaning of that buffalo. Then the second buffalo will be referred by a name in the New York City. And the third buffalo will be referred by a bison from the buffalo. Like bison is the street mentioned according to that name of buffalo. Then And buff. Okay. Like that, guess the remaining balance sentence of the meaning. So I will catch you up on the later part of the meeting. Now we are moving to our prepared speech. First prepared speaker will be our Toastmaster Satish Kumar. He is working as a secretary in Swellet Energy Systems and our current secretary of Chennai Toastmasters Club. Before calling upon our Toastmaster Satish Kumar, I would like to call Toastmaster Sarath to read out his project objectives.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Naveen. Today, Toastmaster Satish is going to present his project 2, level 1 from Dynamic Leadership Path. His purpose is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the very best, Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Satish, importance of English communication skill, why? Importance of English communication skill, why? Toastmaster Satish.
I'm audible. Dear Toastmasters and guest of this meeting, for attend the meeting online or offline, very good afternoon to one and all. Importance of English communication skill. Why? Why it is important? You will understand at the end of my speech. Let me begin with a quote. What we learn with pleasure, we never forget. Once again, I'm repeating. What we learn with pleasure, we never forget. Yes, it's very, very important to what we do, doing things with pleasure and involvement. Definitely we can achieve what is our goal. Importance of English communication skills very, very important to achieve our goal apart from the subject knowledge. Yes, I am telling you one thing. On 22nd August 2022, I attended an interview on big corporate. It is a South India flagship company. They are manufacturing. They are involved in manufacturing of raw materials, which is used for making the two-wheeler and four-wheeler. So this is a position for a company secretary. Since it's a very big, large industry, they're looking for an experienced company secretary with more than 10 years of experience. Since I met the criteria, I attended the interview. Even the interview was first, this was with the CFO and the HR head. It was in online. They were asked so many questions. Since I prepared well, then I was able to attend the interview well. Then I answered all the questions. So I was selected. So I was very happy. Okay, definitely I can get a job in this organization. So second round, they had scheduled with their MD. The MD, he is a person, very famous person, since he is a MD of two companies. He studied in foreign and he is having more than 40 years of experience. So what I did there was a four days gap for the second round. So I wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and I prepared assume if I am MD, if I am recruiting a company secretary for a company. So what type of the question will be asked by a managing director. So accordingly, I prepared well and I was very eagerly to attend the interview. So on 28th of August, I called upon to meet their MD. So I physically visited their office and the interview started. I was expect that he will ask the question only from the subject knowledge, but it's the things happen against what I expected. He never asked about the English knowledge, the subject knowledge. Just as he asked about what was my career journey with these 11 years, and what was the challenging work I handled. So since he is a very famous person, he studied in foreign. So I am not able to follow with his vocabulary. He used new vocabularies. It was very difficult to me understand what he was asking. So it was I was nervous and I was panicked. He noticed that. So even though I'm having a good subject knowledge, I was not able to talk English very fluently. So within 20 minutes, the interview got over. So next day, when I called the HR people, they said that I was not selected. Because of, even though I'm having 10 years of experience and with good subject knowledge, because of lack in communication skill in English and leadership quality. So I was rejected. So it was very painful. I was not able to concentrate in my work for 4 days. So I was sitting in my home and I was thinking, I was asking me a question, why I was not selected, even though I am having good that subject knowledge and having 11 years of experience. I'm handling the legal work. I'm advising to the management for the past 11 years. So many companies have incorporated because of my advice and all the meetings. I'm conducting the board meeting and the AGM and giving legal advice. So then I noticed that I'm lacking communication skills since I'm coming from the village and studied in Tamil medium school. So that is why I joined in this group in the month of 4 months back. In the month of June, I delivered an icebreaker speech. Thereafter, I never give any speech and never took any role. Just I always escape. Whenever Mr. Naveen called me, I'll take next week. I'll take next week. It's happening so on. If I would have used those opportunity, definitely I would have got that job. Really, it's a very big company. Why they have looking a person with good communication skill in the board? They are having 10 directors, all from a very big corporate and directors from foreigners. So I have to handle them. Since if they ask any question, I have to immediately respond them. So the vocabularies really, I'm very struggling in that new vocabularies. So I realized that the members who are joining in this group recently, please take the role, all the role, whatever role, give a speech week, monthly 2 times, and give all the roles. The main important role is grammarian, then the accounter, general evaluator, TT, table topic master. These are all very important to improve our skill so that we can succeed in our life. So I decided last week only, I decided, okay, because of the lack in English communication, I lost a good opportunity. I'll challenge that within a 1 year, definitely I can succeed well. So for that, I decided in every month, 2 times I'm going to give you a speech, and I will take all the topics, whatever the roles in this group. And in Toastmaster Club, they have designed all the pathways. They have designed what the industry is expected from. We'd be working in lecturing, and we are working in a corporate, or we are going to give you a good speech. So they expected, they have designed all the pathways what the current market is expected. So I strongly recommend all the members, definitely if you utilize this platform, we can succeed well. Thank you all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satish, and he makes my work as a VP to more easier to get the nominations for the upcoming weeks. And the second speaker will be our Toastmaster Geeta Sharaf. Before introducing Toastmaster Geeta Sharaf, I would like to call Toastmaster Guru Ayurappan to present her project objectives.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests, and my target speaker, Geeta. She is attempting a level 2 project on motivational strategy speech. The purpose is to the member to learn about different communication styles and identify her own primary style. Also, member to share the impact of her style on others. All the best. Note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best. Over to you.
Toastmaster Geeta Sharaf, what's your style? What's your style, Toastmaster Geeta Sharaf?
Have you ever felt frustrated when communicating with others? Or have you ever sensed someone else's frustration when communicating with you? If yes, then this might help. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My project required me to understand the styles of communication and also to identify what is my primary style of communication. Now, how's this going to help? I asked myself. But as I got into the details of the project, I found the project to be very informative, and it also got me into evaluating myself.
So let me share my understanding about the 4 styles of communication with you all. First and foremost, let me talk about the initiating communicators. So these are the communicators who are social, energetic, enthusiastic, and fun-loving people. They can initiate a conversation with anyone and everyone easily. They love talking and they love sharing stories, and they are also persuasive speakers. Does any one of you identify yourself with such of these qualities? For the benefit of the guests, let me tell you what I personally believe is the people, especially if you, the Toastmasters over the time, they acquire these qualities. As a guest, if you were to ask a Toastmaster, give me one reason why I should be joining the Toastmasters Club, they will not give you one reason, but they will come up with many, many reasons and make sure, persuade you to join the Toastmasters Club. I'll now move on to the next style. They are the supportive communicators. Now, when I talk about the supportive communicators, they are very warm, gentle, and you can approach them easily. So easily approachable and sincere people. They deal with feelings and emotions, or at least I can say feelings and emotions are very important when it comes to dealing with them. For example, if I have to tell my husband or express to my husband the dislike of being interrupted, then I would use feelings and emotions to bring about a behavioral change in my husband. So I would say something like this. You know what? I feel really very frustrated when you interrupt me. And I know that you're not doing it on purpose, but it makes me feel that my feelings are not important to you. I'll now walk you through the next style, which is the direct communicators. So the direct communicators, if I have to tell you, they are very decisive, competitive, and confident individuals. As the name suggests, they are very direct when it comes to their approach, very straightforward people. So they are very focused. They are very specific as to how the work should be done, and they are also result-oriented. It's probably because of these qualities, most of us perceive them as being rude, bossy, or even dominating. Now let's understand what the analytical communicators are. Now, if you have to deal with an analytical communicator, you have to keep your facts and figures right, because these people are more into detail. For example, if you are an analytical communicator and if somebody is going to tell you that the sales are very positive this year, you might think, what does positive mean? 5.4% or 8.9%? Give me the number. So this is how the analytical communicators are. Friends, I can understand that by now you must have identified your style of communication. You must also be confused as you would have identified yourself with more than one style of communication. This is perfectly normal because it is always good to take the support of a supporting style so that you can balance your preferential style. Now, if I have to tell you about what I have identified or associate myself with, I understand that I'm an initiating communicator and I take the support of supporting style. Now you might want to ask, how is this going to help? So friends, let me share my understanding with you. So once you know what is your preferential style of communication, you'll be able to understand why certain situations are very frustrating. And with this understanding, you will also understand that you need to make slight modifications in your style of communication so as to keep the communication effective, pleasant, and very healthy. Now, let me tell you that I was not aware of this style of communication, but then unconsciously, I have made a lot of modifications in my style of communication to deal with people. But if I were aware of this four styles of communication, maybe I would have made conscious efforts to modify my style of communication and would have averted certain embarrassing situations. So let me share one such episode. So this was a time when I had taken up as an editor of a bulletin, and I was also asked to take support of an advisor of the organization, because it was the first time I was coming out with a bulletin. But the meeting was very frustrating. Instructions kept pouring, and he was very specific as to how the work has to be done. Now this got me into thinking, do I not have scope for my creativity? And then he, on the other end, found that I was resentful. So how do you think I could have averted this embarrassing situation? Yes, definitely by bringing in modification in my style of communication. I considered him to be very bossy and dominating. But on the contrary, I now understand that he was a direct communicator. So by adopting and supporting style, I could have easily told him that I want to work with my creativity. I would have expressed my feelings, and I would have told him that I would get back to you every day and whenever I need your help. So this way I could have averted the embarrassing situation. Similarly, he also could have adopted a supportive style, and he could have asked me how I envisioned the bulletin to be. So this way, even we could have, instead of getting more into details, so we could have averted this embarrassing situation. So dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, it is very important to understand what your style of communication is. Only then we will be able to make necessary modification in our style of communication, and this in turn will result in an effective communication. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
I know some of you searched the word buffalo in the Google, I think so. So let us make simple. And I will give you another sentence, but I will give the meaning for that buffaloes in later part of the meeting. So now adding another sentence, rose, rose, to put rose, rose on her row of rose. I repeat, rose, rose, to put rose, rose on her row of roses.
You can understand the meaning. The rose first was addressed to the person's name.
Yes.
In order to put a row of roses.
Okay. And as especially the rose, a woman, the second rose, the verb meaning to get up, rose, the flower, rose, the color, roses, the fish eggs, and rose, the example of lines. A woman named Rose got up to put rose colored fish eggs on her row of roses. Okay. Now we are entering into our table topic sessions, where the guest and role player, speakers have their time to participate in the impromptu speech, where the topic will be given by our table topic master. Our table topic master will be our Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan. Thank you.
Good evening once again, Toastmasters and guests. So far we saw prepared speeches, two good speech, one from Satish and one from Geeta ma'am. These prepared speeches are actually prepared based on the project objectives, discussed with the mentors, reviewed, rehearsed, practiced multiple times, and then delivered. So not always we get such an opportunity to come and give a prepared speeches. There are times where you may be put on a spot to speak on something else. Could be in office situations, could be in house situations. Many situations will happen such a way that you'll be put on a spot, you'll be randomly put on a question, you need to answer it immediately. So table topic session is one such session where you can practice your impromptu communication skills. As a table topic master, I'll randomly pick person, mostly non-role players to give them an opportunity. But if you don't have sufficient non-role players, I might call role players also. Get ready with it. So I'll be randomly picking a person. I'll give a random topic. So it will be easy topic today. So you need to speak on the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. So to qualify for voting, you should speak for 1 minute at least. And at 1 minute, it will be shown a green light. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, it will be shown a yellow light. At 2 minutes, it will be shown red light. You will be having a 30 minutes grace period to wind up your speech with a proper begin, body, and end. So I also encourage people to use the word of the day. What is the word of the day? Uglitter. Okay. So let's begin. So shall we start with? Shall we start here or who's there? Toastmaster Nanda. Thank you, Toastmaster. So, the question is: life is short. Smile while you still have teeth.
Can you repeat? Sorry.
Life is short. Smile while you still have teeth.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, for the fantastic topic. So we, as a human being, think that we need to work really hard, focus on your career, make as much money as possible, acquire a lot of assets as possible, because we think that those are really important things in our life. But after we run through the life, we accumulate a lot of assets, we accumulate a lot of money, we get kids, and kids get grown up. And when we become old, that is when we tend to think that, oh, our important part of life is gone. But we haven't yet enjoyed the life itself in the first place, right? But most of the times it's too late, because by the time you would have acquired a lot of assets like gray in your hair, diabetes in the body, sugar in your blood, and all this stuff. So it's too late to enjoy your life. That is when you need to balance out in your life. It's not just important to earn money, earn assets, build your career. It is also equally important to enjoy your life. So when you work on a daily basis or work with your career or work with your life, just allocate some time to make sure that you enjoy your life. Take your kids for a vacation, take your wife on a trip, go with your friends to a long drive, etc. and etc. Spend a lot of time with your parents, because they won't be there when you are old. Right? So these things are really important in life, not just earning money, career, fame, etc. And I agree with the topic completely. You need to enjoy the life when you have teeth in your mouth. Thank you for the topic.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nanda. Yes, we need to keep smiling as much, even after we lose the teeth. Thank you. And now let me invite our guest, ETM Sriram. I'm going to give a little different topic. Always expect money from a pessimist. Always borrow money from a pessimist. You won't expect it.
Thank you so much. I don't know how Lakshmi Narayan knows me very well, because this is what generally happens to me, especially in this Corona times. I've been a lot of times, my friends used to call me and say, hey, you are in software field, you'll be getting a lot of money, but I am into a personal, doing some business. I don't have money, 6 months is all shut down. And then they know, I'm a person who generally fall for two things. One for food and second for emotions. And then that's where they come, hey, you are my best friend, Ramachan. To whom will I go? This entire world, right? Everybody are pessimistic. They are all sadists also. They won't give me money. Only you are the only person who will give me at least some money. Can you just throw the transfer rupees 1,000? And I'll be thinking, okay, 1,000 rupees, right? Anyway, I'll make sure that return it back in next 2 days itself. The 2 days will go still for 2 years. Never ever I got back. So these are the things which happens generally. And I have one of my friend where he literally took, I know that I'm intelligent. Okay, this is a self-deprecating humor, but I don't know that I'm so innocent and exploitable. So there was one friend in my college who's actually was working in my same company. So he came to me and asked that, hey, Sriram, can you lend me urgently 25,000? But I can make sure that I'll return it back by Friday itself. I was thinking, how 25,000 we can return back? I have an LIC slip. My LIC will be maturing on Friday. You just take that money. Oh, okay. I just gave him 25,000, but I never knew that he will never, first he needs to come back by 25th on Friday to get LIC, right? So he never came back. And I was like wondering, if he has LIC slip, why he is asking me? He can go to the LIC itself and pay the money, right? So that much innocent I was. So that's what the pessimistic always were. They wanted, no, they just take the money and they are the person who never create opportunity. But they are pessimistic or actually the optimistic, because they create opportunity for themselves to grow, but to shut the other self. So whether you expect money from them or give money from them, don't expect and don't give also. Be that one person where you say it's for good cause or a bad cause, whether people take you for granted or you want to be granted, don't give or borrow. You give money only to the VP membership officer when she asks.
Thank you, Sridham. Yeah, thanks for the promotion for paying money to the VP membership. And also, I always feel pessimists are happiest people because they don't expect, right? So even if you expect, you won't get back, as you said, the money. So being pessimist is also good at times. Okay, let me invite Toastmaster Anirudh. Can someone? Yeah. Rotation of the earth makes my day. Rotation of the earth makes my day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan. Yes, rotation of the earth makes my day. Let me begin with how I begin my day. When the sun exactly sets down I always wake up exactly at 5 a.m. in the morning. This is before the sun rises up. That's how I begin my day. As the earth rotates, slowly the sun comes up. It comes right on top of me and again goes down. As the day begins, I'll always wake up, go to the nearby temple, wake up the rooster, and then come back home, so that everyone in my neighborhood can also wake up. That is how the day passes always. And then slowly, as the earth rotates, the sun again comes up. I have to go to my bus. There I have to sleep again until my college comes. Again in college goes on, I have to keep looking out at the sun until it comes up to the just above me. I know it's lunchtime and I can go out of my class. And then later, as the earth rotates some more time, the sun comes down. I can look at it from an angle. I know it's sports class now and I can go play with my friends. Again, and then after that, after some time, I know again I have to go back to the bus. And I always again I'll sleep in the bus again. And I know I have to get down exactly when I can no longer see the sun. I'll always come back home by 7. As the night goes down, I can no longer see the sun at all, and my day ends. That's how the rotation of the earth makes my day. Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi.
Thank you, Anirudh. From the way you said, I felt you have more than 24 hours in a day to cover up. Thank you so much. Can I ask Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan? Okay, so the question for you is, to err is human. I'm not ending it here now. To err is human, but if the rubber wears out before the pencil, then you're overdoing it. To err is human, but if the rubber wears out before the pencil, then you're overdoing it. Over to you, Toastmaster Srikanth.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much. It's quite obvious that to err is human, and the saying goes that to not is divine. But here you have put me into a spot where you have told me that if the rubber wears out before the pencil, that I am not correcting the mistakes or correcting the wrong that I have been doing. See, the point that we need to understand in our life is that most of us are afraid of taking a chance or making a mistake. And what happens really is, once you know that you have made a mistake, you should also know that you learn from your mistake and see that you don't repeat it. It's absolutely fine for us to make mistake, because there is no one person who has born on this planet Earth, who has lived and who has passed away without making a mistake. So which literally means that perfection does not exist in a human being. See, we can only do our best and we can improve on what we have done already. The same goes with making mistake. But please do not repeat the mistake. And once you know that you have learned, you keep moving forward. And these mistakes are really not mistake in a true sense. These are lessons that is being taught to us. There are situations where you would be afraid to take a chance. But once you take a chance, you come out successfully, you step back for a second and say, oh my God, I have been afraid of this all these time, but once I've done it, I'm so happy that I could do and I could feel good about what I have done. So go ahead and make a choice of doing what your intuition tells you is right. Whether it is right or wrong, there are no right decisions or wrong decisions per se. You make a decision and see that it is the right decision. The same with taking chances and making a mistake. Don't hesitate, because the true potential of a human being is unraveled from the mistakes and the lessons that he has learned. So if there is a way that you can improve or the way that you can progress and evolve yourself, it is from making mistakes which you think could be right or wrong, but you end up learning a lesson and making sure that doesn't happen. Every person who is worth the salt on this planet Earth has grown by making mistakes and learning from it. So you and I are part of that system. Go ahead and live the life to the fullest potential, and you'll know that the greatness lies within you. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srikanth Kuttikrishnan. Guest Hemanjali, would you like to give a try?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the question for you is, what's the best piece of advice you ever received? What is the best piece of advice you ever received?
I think best advice would be to give it a try, even though if you're scared. Like there have been many times I've held back from doing certain things, like giving a speech or taking up a new project or something, or handling a team as a team leader. I was very much afraid to take opportunity and go with it. Because of that, I have lost many a times the things I could have done and achieved. So I think that you should keep whatever the insecurities aside and just give it a try without holding back. Even though whether you fail or whether you make a mistake, at least you have tried and you know what the experience is. Based on that experience, you have learned something, and you could perform better the next time with that experience. So that is one advice I have followed, which my dad has given. Thanks.
Thank you so much. We have Toastmaster Satya. Satya, would you like to take up a topic?
Lakshmi, I'm driving. I'll stop in 5 minutes. I'll take the next one. Go ahead with the current one, please. Sorry.
Okay, no issues. We can continue. Okay, anyone else? Anushri, would you like to take up a topic?
Okay, sure.
Okay. So if you had an extra hour in each day, suppose if we are having an extra hour in each day, what will we be doing in that extra hour?
All right. Elon Musk once said that the secret to my success is not that I have 48 hours in a day, but that I know how to use the 24 hours effectively, which is very true. Every person in this world just has 24 hours a day, even the president of the country or even the Queen of England for that matter, and me and you. So we just have 24 hours, and it all depends on how we utilize those 24 hours. For example, we can use different techniques like the Pomodoro technique to divide the 24 hours into different sections and use it accordingly. But if I had 1 hour extra, I think I'd spend that 1 hour to sleep for an hour more. Not that I'm very stressed out or not that I'm, on the verge of lack of sleep or anything like that. But I think extra sleep is an investment that we can do for ourselves, for our health, and especially in a world like today where everything is fast and furious. I think we all need that 1 hour of extra peaceful, unhindered sleep that not many of us, that is like a luxury to most of us nowadays. So if I had another hour, I would, not every day, but probably alternate days, I would use it to, catch up on a movie or meet friends or do something that I'm not able to do every other day. But yeah, sleep would be my priority for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope you get enough sleep every day, not just in extra hours. Thank you so much. So one last topic we have. Toastmaster Renuka, would you like to try?
Hello, sir. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
hi.
here, sir.
Again, a very simple question. So what skill do you think everyone should have and why? What one skill which everyone should have and why?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi. So, thank you for giving me this topic. The skill I expect from all and I wish to have too is to explore ourselves and to face the day-to-day life on every day, where we go, where we meet people. Even though it is very tough to say and hello to a stranger, but it's very hard when we go through with them in life and to say bye, it is very tough. So whatever the thing we want to go ahead, we must go ahead without any hesitation, without any fear, or we should not get panicked. We have to go ahead and face whatever we want to make it out. So we have to make our day, everyday success by facing all the events that we must meet on the day. So life is challenging, whereas we are supposed to meet everyone. We have to meet so many things, and we have to overcome all the things. So facing the society is a challenge, but we have to overcome that. So depending upon the situation, we have to mold ourselves, and we have to make ourselves strengthen, and we have to make ourselves strong enough to face everything. That kind of skill we have to develop in ourselves. So we must be strong enough to face whatever the challenges come. To develop the skill, we need to make more relationship. We need to go through all the issues without any hesitation. Thank you, Lakshmi sir, and back to you again.
Thank you, Toastmaster Renuka. With that, we are coming to the end of this table topic session, and now it's time to hand over the control back to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Before entering into our evaluation segment, unmute me. Before entering into our evaluation segment, let's crack the another sentence. Will. Anybody want to crack? Okay. One more time. Will. Like you want to add will like 7 times. Will. Okay. The first word will refers a person, and the second will be the future tense helping the verb, and a third will be referred second person, and fourth will be bequeath, and fifth will be the third person, and wills means the referring it to second person, and will means a document. Okay. Like will one directly if will two plans to bequeath his own will the document to will 3. Okay. Now it's time to get our feedback for our prepared speech and about our tag team reports and our meetings. Now I would like to welcome our general evaluator, Toastmaster Palanisamy, to conduct evaluation segment.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Naveen Raj. Now it's time for prepared speech evaluation. I would like to call Toastmaster Sharath to evaluate the prepared speech of Toastmaster Satish Kumar. Toastmaster Sharath is the research scholar at IIT Madras in the Structural Engineering Department. His interests are exercise, which we can see obviously from his structured body, and reading books, and one of his interests is teaching. So Toastmaster Sharath, it's time to evaluate Toastmaster Satish Kumar's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for the nice introduction. Toastmasters, guests, and my dear target speaker, Toastmaster Satish. Let me evaluate your speech first by giving the commendations and then by giving the recommendation. Since the purpose of this project is for the member to incorporate the speech purpose, what I observed was today's Satish general purpose was to persuade, and specific purpose was to persuade the members to improve their communication skills, to understand the importance of a communication skill and improve themselves in their life and careers. Kudos to you. Let's dive into the details of the commendation part. Number one, the selection of content. You took a content from your own experience, which your interview experience, and you narrated it very well. That's the first point I like. Number two is the organization that you used in your speech. Basically, you told a problem that you faced in your life, that is the interview suffering, and then the solution you gave. And then in between you had an introspection, why this problem happened, and then finally you gave the solution, joining Toastmasters. Kudos to you for clear organization. Number three is the achievement of purpose. Whether your speech achieved the purpose or not, as the audience, I can able to relate, yes, communication is very important. I can feel the pain when you lost a job in that interview, in that online interview with the MD. The same pain I can understand. Maybe I can relate tomorrow, the same thing will happen to me if I am not improving myself. And I'm sure I'm going to improve my communication, and that was your purpose. Kudos to you for achieving that. Now, coming on to the recommendation part, I have just 2 points to recommend. One is the full completion of the content. First, like you beautifully explained about you're missing the interview part, and then you gave the icebreakers. You joined Toastmasters and gave icebreaker speech, and finally, if you could have completed it with some positive experience, it could have been great. But since you told I'll be improving myself in the next 1 year, it's good. But as an audience, I want Satish, so that you can inspire me. You can inspire me more. So that completion. Number two is a simple thing, the opening and conclusion. Usually everyone, before joining Toastmasters, we open saying, good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. But here, Toastmaster, if we observe, we start suddenly with a quote, with a question. How many of you fear by speaking English? Do you know which is the most important fear people face? Some kind of curious question. And then Toastmaster of the Day, my dear friends, maybe you could have started like. And finally, ending part, I observed you finished, thank you, guest, and then you ran. Instead of that, maybe next time we can stay in the stage. Thank you. Over to you, like Toastmaster of the day. Stay for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then slowly. So this is the small correction that we can do. Overall, it's a beautiful speech. You persuaded us as well with a beautiful content, achieve the purpose. Only this thing, the content completion and the opening and ending small part would have been taken care. I wish you all the best. You told 2 months once you are going to give the speech. Let's see. And I wish you all the best. Next 2 years, I wish you will be joining in a great job with your improved English. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, Sharath. Thank you, Toastmaster Sharath, for the evaluation. Now I would like to call Toastmaster Guruvayurappan to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Geeta Shroff. Toastmaster Guruvayurappan is working in Infosys as Senior Associate Consultant. Toastmaster Guruvayurappan is a fan of Ilayaraja and Madhuri Dixit. He seems to be very loyal to Madhuri Dixit even after so many years. And his interest is also listening to music. Toastmaster Guruvayurappan, stage is yours to evaluate.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First of all, I like to thank Geeta for delivering a wonderful Rava Masala Dosa. Your speech was like that. Your sheet script was entire like a very crispy dosa, crispy Rava dosa with scribbles of mustard seeds and chilies sprinkled all over the speech. So coming to your speech, you had a wonderful speech. It was perfectly on target. It's very, very important and necessary for a Toastmaster to identify what is the style. That is what the project objective is. And you had done it in a very, very, very imperative and peculiar in your own style. You delivered a wonderful speech. Your hand movements, your high contact, everything was picture perfect, like a side dish, like a sambar chutney to a perfect dosa. It was really mixing well, everything with your speech. But one thing which I want to see is usage of speech. When you talked about 4 different speeches like initiative, directive, analytical, then you could have moved bits, not much, but at least to some extent you could have used your stage presence much better than what you did. So that is one area of recommendation which I recommend you. Second thing is one incident where you had impacted, your speech had impacted another person. If you had shared that experience also, that could have added more value to your speech. Overall, it was a wonderful, delivered, crispy Rava Masala Dosa to me and for the audience, benefit of audience. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Guruvayurappan. Now I would like to call the tag team to present their report. I request Toastmaster Anirudh to present the timer report.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, Toastmaster Panisami. I am to deliver my tag report. The meeting started at exactly at 4:06 p.m. Toastmaster Panisami, he first took 1 minute to begin the meeting, another 1 minute 50 seconds later. Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayana took 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Naveen Raj, took 52 seconds. And then while introducing the tag rules, Toastmaster Karthik took 35 seconds and Toastmaster Rajalakshmi took 39 seconds. And then the prepared speak session, Toastmaster Satish took 5 minutes 55 seconds and Toastmaster Geeta Shroff took 7 minutes and 52 seconds. In the TT session, Toastmaster Nanda took 1 minute and 24 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Sriram took 2 minutes 13 seconds. Toastmaster Anirudh, that's myself, took 1 minute 21 seconds. Toastmaster Srikanth Kotikrishnan took 2 minutes 30 seconds. Guest Hema took 1 minute and 3 seconds. Guest Anushree took 1 minute 33 seconds. And Toastmaster Renuka took 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Finally, the evaluation segment. Toastmaster Sarath took 3 minutes 38 seconds. And Toastmaster Guruvayurappan took 1 minute and 42 seconds. That's the end of the tag report. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anirudh. Now I request Toastmaster Karthik to present the account report.
So once again, good evening, my fellow Toastmaster and guests. So today the session was very good. I expected more. This was my first counter roles, but the session was really, really good. So I would like to share my reports today. TM Toastmaster Naveen used 4 R words. TM Palanichami used 2 well and 2 words. And Toastmaster Satish Kumar used R 6 times, 4 times. And Toastmaster Anirudh used 4 times. Guest Hemjit used Ha 2 times, and guest Anusha used 2 times. Toastmaster Renuka used 2 times, A 3 times, so 3 times. And Toastmaster Sharath used A 3 times. So that's all. Thank you.
Now I would like to call Toastmaster Lakshmi to present the Grammarian Report.
So it was really nice because I'm just attending the Toastmaster after 2 weeks, 2 weeks back. So it's very, very delight to just meet everybody here. And then I was really enjoyed this section because it's been long time for me. So just like a congratulation to everybody from me. So just coming to the grammarian part rule, coming to the section, and then I have found unique words like preferential style, and powering and pessimist. And then coming to the error parts, I haven't found much of errors, but still we have to improve a bit. And then coming to the recommentations, I have found out that most of the people have used very, very poor, and then many, and then normal words like company. So for just a recommendation, I'm just telling, I'm not a big person. Just from my side, I'm telling, instead of very, for example, very painful means we can use tender, and then execration thing. And then for example, very poor means we can use broke, like that. So we can take these as an example, and we can improve our vocabularies also. And then coming to many also, we can use numerous. And then everybody use the word company. Instead of company, we can use establishment also, which is a bit unique word. And then for most, I have found that we can use lion shares. So that is also one of the recommendation. And then like an overall thing, it was really good. And this is my first time also. So I have just tried whatever from my side. So I'm just still trying to learn a lot of things from you guys also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lakshmi. Now it's time for the general evaluator report. The meeting started by 6 minutes delay, so we need to get the things right on time. So unfortunately, this is the second time happening in less than a month time, so we need to improve upon it. The overall meeting quality of the meeting is good. 2 prepared speeches. They delivered the role of Vice President Education, and also they delivered on behalf of General Evaluator. So they highlighted the importance of communication, and Toastmaster Geeta Shroff highlighted the different styles of communication, and identifying that we can enhance our strength, and we can also understand how others are communicating, so that instead of misunderstanding, we can understand their perspective. So it is a well-organized speech, and it is useful for everyone. So thank you for both of you. Then I would like to recommend few suggestions. One is, those who want to convey something, you please don't depend on mobile. You write it down, deliver here, because sometimes mobile, sometimes it's a screen lock, then we have to unlock. It will take time. So probably we have to write it, the content, then deliver it. So this will be useful. And I request and encourage the table topic speakers to keep the video on while delivering. And I congratulate those who kept the video on, because we are not only listening to you, we are seeing your reaction. We are seeing the gestures. So this will give very good confidence. You will feel confident, and the listeners also will get connected with you. So I encourage everyone to keep the video on while using the online speech. Then one more suggestion I would like to share based on the 2 weeks ago experience. While after delivering my speech, second speech, when I going back to home along with the distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilagandan, he was sharing, your speech was good, you are confident. Then he shared one thing. You did not freeze your speech. You did not freeze your script. You have to see, only those who are interested in developing you will give such a speech, such a suggestion, because he was keenly listening to my speech. Then he gave this feedback. He told that you need to freeze the speech so that you will feel confident and deliver the speech. So I request everyone to come attend the meeting physical, so that you will get such a feedback from the senior Toastmasters. And I request senior Toastmasters to come here and support the newcomers, because when such a double distinguished Toastmaster Venu Nilagandan is coming and not only delivering a speech, he is also sharing his experience, giving feedback to members. Many senior members can take and help the junior members. So this is one request as well as suggestion. And with this, I would like to hand over the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Naveen Raj. Thank you.
One day, I got a call from the Swiggy person to give the directions to my home. Then I attend the call and give the direction. He replied me, I am staying this street. Okay. Then I am replied him to, I am also staying this street. He got confused. Then I am saying example, don't go that street, please come this street. Then he's got another time he confused, because the street name is mentioned as that street, this street, this street. Okay. I saw the Swiggy person far behind. Then I told him, don't go that street, this street, please come to this street. So he totally confused. After that, he replied me, I am saying this street, please come to this street. I will give you that parcel to yours. Then I went to that street and collected the parcel and came to this street. Okay. This comes to, okay, let's have our educational speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Sriram, and learn how to ace our humorous contest.
Am I audible? Am I audible? I think here I'm audible, right? People who are there in the online forum, are you able to hear me? No worry, I'm not as smart as the Toastmaster of the day. If you don't able to see me, that's fine. But at least you're able to hear me.
Yes, Sriram.
Yes.
At least
Yes,
anyone
yes,
can
we
give a
hear.
thumbs up. Okay,
Yes.
there is someone called with some special character. I don't know. Might be a special talented person. Okay, hello everyone. Good evening. It's so nice to stand in Chennai Toastmaster Club, especially on 844 meetings. So it's been 700 meetings. I have tried to do a session in this club, but today only it happened. Not that BP Education is not calling me. I just had the qualification now to come and deliver a speech over here. So I was keenly looking at the agenda. Like one role is actually missing in this agenda. I don't know who developed this agenda. It's the Toastmaster of the Day, right? I think there is one role which you have clearly missed. I was wondering whether it is a Toastmaster of the Day role or is a tongue twister role. You was like giving I see, I saw, you saw, that street, this street. I was keenly wondering what is it. Yesterday only I went to dentistry. What is he saying about it? Everything, but it was so good. But I just literally loved, when my mom prepares rava dosa, I just give her a feedback. This is not so good. But today only I came to know that I can only evaluate rava dosa, but today we can evaluate a speech in the form of rava dosa. That's what Guru Ayappan have told me. That is your style, Guru Ayappan. Probably the impact is from Geeta ma'am. And Naveen, I know you have a grudge on me, but today it was very evident. Today it was so evident. You know what? There is one quality which every public speaker really fears about. Whenever on the stage and whatever the public speaker speaks, there is one quality which is so tough and everybody fears that quality, which is called eye contact. Eye contact with the public, especially after 2 years of Corona time. Now you're facing each and everyone, and eye contact is one such quality which every speaker fears. Even you go and ask the powerful speakers, they tell it. But having a personalized eye contact is so tougher. That's what you did today, man. Especially when you are saying about Rose, you are looking at Geeta. Fair enough. But when you had Buffalo, why you are looking at me and saying Buffalo? I just bored his head. He just went Buffalo. I know. How do you know all my nicknames, man? You are a VP Education Officer, but I don't know how you did all these nicknames. But anyway, thank you so much. It was a lovely session. And today we are going to have a session on humorous speech. Okay. Remember, I'm not going to make you laugh and all. This is not a stand-up comedy show, because that's a feedback which I get. Your humorous session was not so humorous. These are the feedbacks which you get. But what I'm going to say is today, I'm going to share few simple techniques which I actually got from my mentors and which I have implemented in my speeches, so that took me to a humorous speech contestant. Okay, I'm not so great in humorous speaking, but these are things which I love to share, and that's all Toastmasters is all about, mutually exclusive, where my mentors taught me, and I'm not going to advise you because I'm a hardcore fan of Socrates. No, when you advise people, generally poison you. That was one of the table topic. That's the best piece of advice which I got, that don't do any advices. So I'm going to share you simple 5 techniques which I learned from my humorous speech mentors. Their name is Toastmaster Shamraj. You all know Shamraj, right? Toastmaster Shamraj. So Toastmaster Shamraj and distinguished Toastmaster Chendil Kumar. So these are the 2 people who literally transformed me into a humorous speaker, and they were the one who guided me. And this session I want to dedicate to both of them, because this session was also being monitored by them as well. I don't know whether they are here or not. Some name they would be here, but this session I just wanted to dedicate, and I'm going to teach you very simple 5 techniques. How many of you think that humorous is not my cup of tea? Everyone except Lakshmi, everyone thinks that humorous speaking is not that much my cup of tea. Cool. I share you 5 techniques, and probably it would be really helpful for you that if you could go and implement at least one technique in your humorous speech contest. How many of you know Abraham Lincoln over here? Everybody knows. So Abraham Lincoln is famous for his motivational speech, inspiration speech. He just literally transform you. If he speaks for 5 rupees, you will be giving him 5,000 rupees. That's a level he speaks about. Okay, but Abraham Lincoln has another side which is really unknown. He is a very good humorous speaker. His sense of timing was so beautiful. Let me give you one example which might literally amuse you. So Abraham Lincoln went to a dinner party. He organized his dinner party for all his party men. And you all know, when it comes to politics, literally you will find one backstabber, right? If it comes to politics, you literally have one backstabber. So he was also there in the party. He was sitting next to Abraham Lincoln. So Lincoln sir said, guys, please make yourself comfortable. I'll go to the washroom and come. So he went to the washroom. So at that time, what this person did is he just took the napkin which was present in the table, draw a picture of Lincoln and kept it on his plate. So when Lincoln came, sat on the plate, saw this, and he pretty well knew that it was this person who did it. So he just turned on to him and said, excuse me, sir, when I went to the washroom, by any chance, did you take my napkin and wipe your face and then keep it on the plate? So that was the level of humor which he had in himself. So now this is what we call it as setup, pause, and punch technique. So whenever you are trying to create a phase, so whenever you are trying to build a story, these are the techniques which you can follow, which is called setup, pause, and punch. Or people say that give an unexpected twist at the end. So the twist was, did you wipe your face and keep it on the plate? So that was the twist which we provided, the unexpected answer. So S stands for set up the pause. So you need to build your content first. If you are having a story, okay, I'm going to say about this story, so try to build it across. Here the building part occurred about the table. I need to introduce a character called Backstabber, Lincoln, and the incident that he went to the washroom. So that's my building up my story. Okay, and then I'm coming to before I come to the unexpected answer, which is, did you wipe your face? I just left a small pause. I'm not sure how many of you notice it. That small pause is generally required. You can measure it in terms of 0.75 seconds to 1.2 seconds. So that's the considerable notion which you can keep it up. Don't go beyond 1.2 seconds because audience might lose the touch. So pause is really required, which we call it as a digestion quotient of the audience. So what I'm trying to do is, with the pause, I'm building the curiosity among yourself. So I'm making you coming to the edge of the seat. Hey, what is that this guy is going to say about it? And then I give an unexpected answer which you don't expect. That's where the laughter comes in across. Okay, so that's what it is. I think one good example which I can take is from Toastmaster Shamraj winning speech. How many of you have seen his winning speech in 2015? No, right? Okay, you have seen it, right? You remember. So there's one beautiful contest which he says, which would go very well with this end. So he was being asked by his maths teacher to recite the numbers in the order from 1 to 20. So he said that, I remember how my uncle taught me the numbers. So he started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The teacher clapped and said, Sham, you continue. Thank you, ma'am. Jack, Queen, King, Ace. So that was his statement. So how he beautifully related this 1 to 20 in the form of the playing cards, Jack, Queen, King. So the moment when he said Jack, Queen, King, I could see a lot of smiles over here. So that's why he gives something which is unexpected. But before he said Jack, he gave a 1 second pause. That is what we call it as pause. So people are saying, it's 11 only, right? It's 11 and did Sham forget? So that's a curiosity which as a listener we had. But he just breaks us all with the saying Jack, Queen, King, and As, where he rates playing cards with a number from 1 to 10. Now, this example is also an example for another technique which we call it as usage of illogics. Okay, so in ISC contest, you have something called speech effectiveness and appropriateness. But in humorous speech, we don't expect any logic at all. Your aim is to make the others laugh. That's it. So you don't need to feel, oh, why should I have any? There is no logic in it. He's asked me to recite numbers 1 to 20, but why I am saying Jack, Queen, King, Ace, and all. So what's the illogic element over here? This is about playing cards, right? I started by saying 1, 2, 3. Is there 1 in your playing card? No, right? Did you have this question on your mind when I said this? No. So that's the power of the speaker, where when you are actually going by joke, I'm just pulling you into my own environment. Whether it's logical or illogical, I'm just pulling you into my environment and you are there in my environment enjoying my joke. You won't have this question when I say it, but after I stop and I go out, Sharat would come say, when I'm taking my bike, he would say, hey, Sriram, you don't know how to take a session, but you don't know how to play playing cards. So there is no number 1 in the playing card. So he might come with this kind of questions, but at the time when I'm delivering it, you will not have it. That's the power everybody has. Don't go for the logics and all. It's mere stupidity. Go for mere stupidity. That is logical for a humorous speech contest. Right? You all got it, what I'm trying to say? So first, what we thought is, let's follow the technique of giving an unexpected answer. Okay, unexpected answer at the end of each phrase, and then usage of illogics. Another technique which I want to share is usage of exaggeration. So generally, if you take, it was a great humorist, Crazy Mohan, he said that if you want to elevate your humorous level, right, what you need to do is, you will have a humorous phrase. Along with it, 20% of exaggeration salt, you please add it to your food. That's what he says. Your humor plus a level of exaggeration that will elevate your humor. For an example, I could say, chess is such a boring game. One player makes a move, and before the second player makes a move, you can go to your home, watch Ennai Nokkim Payum Thotta twice, take lunch, and then come back. Still that guy will be thinking. So now here, where is the exaggeration? Exaggeration is watching Ennai Nokkim Payum Thotta twice and then have lunch. So I'm just adding that exaggeration to it, so to elevate my humor, to elevate the intensity of what chess game is all about for the listeners, right? So this is what we call it as usage of exaggeration. You got it? But you need to be very sure that when it comes to humorous speech contest, when you over exaggerate yourself, it becomes a tall tale. So you need to draw a line of it, how much the level which I can go for exaggeration. Don't go beyond it. When I hit the ball went out of the stadium. That is an exaggeration. But when I say, when I hit the ball went out of the universe. That is tall tale, which is Vijaykanth level. Okay. So make sure that you draw a line of what exaggeration is all about and what tall tale is all about. If you go for a tall tale level, then people generally lose their interest. Okay. That's the thing. And fourth one is the one of my favorite thing, which is called the word play. Playing with words. You can merely be a T-Raj in the English version of T-Rajan, but I love this thing. I had few sentences in my speech like, my father is a DTM, different type of miser. Right? You got it. There are 4 Khans who are actually dominating the Bollywood industry. One, Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan, Amir Khan, and the 4th one is Popcorn. Right? So how I play the words with Khans? So because we spend only 360 rupees for watching Amir Khan movie, but we spend 1,000 rupees for placing a popcorn in life. So these are the different types how you can play with words. Right? So I want you to play with your words, which will generally tickle the funny bones across it. And the last technique which I wanted to share is power of 3. This is one such technique which generally I use it. So power of 3 means whenever you are building your story or when you have a character on it, make sure that you don't cross more than 3. For example, software engineers like Guru Ayurappan are always stressed, depressed, but well-dressed. So here what I'm trying to say is that I don't go beyond the 3 qualities: stressed, depressed, and well-dressed. I don't go beyond it. Define sorry. If you ask Lakshmi, he will come and say, I know that I did something wrong. I'm 0% correct. So which means that he is a honest person. But when you ask Lakshmi, what he would say? The same thing. But when you ask Guru Ayurappan, he will say, I am 50% right, Sriram, but 50% only wrong. But still, I will come to you and say, I am sorry, which means that he is a wise person. But when you ask the general evaluator, Sriram, I am 200% right. Other person was wrong. But still, I will come and ask, I am sorry, because I'm a perfect husband. Right? So if you take here also, right, I didn't go beyond 3 characters. I didn't go beyond 3 characterization. So one is only 0%, 50%, and 200%. If I start again like saying, I am 125.5% right, Sriram, but only 75% I am wrong, which means that I am a dumb fellow. So if you start building on those incidents, audience would generally go out of the flow. So make sure that you don't go beyond 3. That's what we call it as power of 3. And it applies to all speeches as well. You can lesser down if you are able to get it with 2, that's perfectly fine. But if you are able to go beyond 3, that's where the problem occurs. So to summarize, let me tell you what are the 5 things which we got. First is the giving an unexpected answer, what we call it as a setup, pause, and punch. And second one, usage of exaggeration. Third one, use illogics to the maximum to get whatever humor you wanted to. Fourth is the wordplay. And fifth one is the power of 3. So these are the 3 things which I have. How much time I have left, sir? 10 minutes? Oh, I have spoken only for 14 minutes. So look at this there. That is what we call it as stress syllable. If we want to stress a particular word, he said, sir, you have used only for 14 minutes. So I really love the pause and the punch which are. This is what we call it as stressing a word, which gives an humor. Right? And also there is one more thing which I want to share is what we call it as a slapstick comedy. So sometimes there are not native speakers where they can't influence people with their vocabulary language, but their action can speak a lot. That's what we call it as a slapstick comedy, which means that through your actions, you derive humor, like how Charlie Chaplin does, Mr. Bean does, and all. Right? There was one example where I went to a beauty parlor to have my haircut and salon. So slowly what that person was doing marketing with me, that he said that, sir, why can't you take a pedicure and a manicure? So this is how the conversation went. Sir, why can't you take a pedicure and manicure? What's that? We are going to cut and shape your nails apart. It's just only 999 plus GST. For cutting the nails that much, for that I can just throw it and go down. If you see that this action actually was, I'm using it to deliver a humor. This action, I'm not using any words for it. So this is what we call it as a slapstick comedy, where you use your actions to deliver a humor. So that's one thing which you can try. And this works out very well. Because sometimes if the people are not able to hear you, right, but they are still able to see you. So try to have a lot of these body movements in your speeches, which will give out that humor. So these are the few techniques, but I also wanted to share few pointers which I actually learned while drafting the humorous speech. First thing is know your audience. You should really know your audience. There's one example which I can talk to you. How many of you know here Toastmaster Sridhar Ranganathan? Right? First time I witnessed his speech in a division contest. It was a humorous speech contest where he spoke about actor Madhavan, somewhere way years back. Okay, he spoke about actor Madhavan and it was a killer. It was a killer show. He was awarded straightly the first place. He moves to district. Okay, and there he comes and delivers the same speech, but it was not a killer. It was a bomber at the time. It was hardly like 1 or 2 people were actually showing some teeth to him. So he came out and I was like literally upset, sir, you are such a humorous speaker. What happened? What happened? And that's where he came up. After 2 days, he messaged me stating that, there is something which I really forgot, which is knowing the audience. Because in a district conference earlier, when it was District 82, maximum were Sri Lankans were sitting over there. And those people were not aware of who Madhavan is all about. So whatever gimmicks he did, he could not get the laughter. So he failed to attract 80% of audience. So that's where I want to say, whatever you speak about, at least 80% of the audience should be aware of what you're speaking about. Imagine if I am not speaking about, here at least 80% of audience know what playing card is all about. Right? It will have Jack, Queen, King. That's where you had a laughter over there. But imagine I'm just speaking about some other card. If I speak about visiting card, nobody would be going to laugh at me because audience are not aware of what those type of cards would be. So it's always imperative that you know the 80% of the audience and speak on the topic which 80% of the audience is aware. That's where I think people literally eligible batches come and speak about their girlfriend, and married people comes and talks about their wives. Okay, that's all thing. But you have a question? Oh, okay. He was retorting his hands like Rajinikanth, so that's a style influence. So that's what I want to say. The next thing which I want to say is that I talk about know your audience, right? Next, always have a very catchy title. That's very, very important because your speech doesn't start when you're standing on the stage and start delivering your gestures. It starts the moment the contest master actually announces the title. That's where itself the expectation starts on you. So try to have a catchy title. Nowadays, look, why they release a teaser or a motion picture, they just release the title. If I say AK-68, I'm just wondering when will they release the title. So that's the expectation which they built across. So always have a catchy title. I literally know there was one club member from my club. He kept a title as CCCL, Crash Course in Car Learning. But he referred CCCL because when you are joined before 2020, there's a competent manual which is called Competent Communicator and Competent Editor. So he just referred that so that the expectations start from that moment. I know there was one contestant who had the title as Please Rape Me. You had title. And once I have kept a title as I Love You. So imagine Toastmaster Sriram, I love you. I love you, Toastmaster Sriram. How it will be? I thought that would be a lady contest master, but to my notice, there was a gent Toastmaster. So it entirely took another notion. But still, I got a laughter when a person like this says. So try to have a catchy title. That's my thing. And the one thing is, now it's a humorous speech contest. Generally, there is a saying that people remember your speech, and the most thing where they remember is your first 1 minute of your speech and your last 1 minute of your speech. In between, they just forget. Right? So always make sure that you have a different type of opening. And also a bang-on conclusion. Opening would be, smoking helps in reducing weight. 1 lung at a time. You got it? So instead of just saying how many of you smoke, how many of you want to reduce weight, have these kind of catchy phrases so that it catches the attention of the thing. And always have a very bang-on conclusion at the end. Again, I literally want to know, this is my favorite conclusion where I have written is Shamraj Vini at the end where he says that, please don't call XCOM. That's why you don't find them after their role. So he just stresses that XCOM role so that people don't find them. So make sure that you have that kind of a bang-on conclusion, or you can have a small stipulated message at the end which catches the audience attention, because your first 1 minute and your last 1 minute is so important. Okay. And the final one which I want to say, I made a mistake today. How many of you are aware of it? While giving examples, I made one mistake. You know what? Probably after hearing that phrase, there was one person who stood very serious today. There was one example for power of three where I mentioned software engineers like Guru Ayyappan are always stressed, depressed, and well dressed. Okay, now everybody you all laughed at it, but Guru Ayyappan like, so it is always advisable that you do self-deprecating humor a lot. I am also a software engineer. So I might say software engineers, I'm a software engineer. That is why I always look stressed, depressed, or well dressed. That is more safer than playing with the other persons. Okay, so it is always imperative that you do self-deprecating humor a lot. One such example is DTM Chendil Kumar. There was a moment where he was actually hospitalized for getting a heart attack. So when I was actually inquiring at home, he was saying that, you know, Sriram, doctor suggested me that I had 3 blocks. One is 95%, 96%, and 97%. Never in the exam I got this much marks at all. So that's an example of self-deprecating humor. So he was able to make humor of his own self at a tough situation as well. So these are things which you should follow. Make sure that you have a self-deprecating humor at the end. So one more example for self-deprecating humor I can say is that in one of the contests I had a speech there was a speech of my ice cream speech where I had a line. She was so hot that I lost my cool. So this was my line. And the contest master was a girl. Okay. So my mentor came and told me that, Sriram, put the contest master, you will get more laughter. So I went on to the stage and I said, she was so hot, like our contest master Kavya, that I lost my cool. So the meaning entirely changed. Okay. So I know pretty well after the speech, many people came and told me that you can't refer a girl like hot. So that might be lead to your disqualification. So the meaning entirely changed. So you should draw a line again. In humorous speech, it's very easy to pull everyone. For the sake of laughter, you will pull everyone. But remember that you all need to draw a line for sensitivity as well. The offendism, level of offendism should not go beyond a point. Right? So this is the example which I want to say. The hot, they generally forgotten what the context I spoke. But the issue came is that how can you say a girl as hot, which is not advisable in our district. So that's why you need to draw a level of sensitivity, offendism as well. Make sure that when you are pulling others, make sure you are all in safe zone. Like how I did to Naveen was okay, but what I did to Guru Ayyappan was not okay. That's what I want to say. Practice more of self-deprecating humor. Right? So these are the things which I wanted to share it with you all. So let me summarize again. So what is the first thing which you learned today? Set up, pause, and punch. Second, illogic. My session was illogic, right? That's what you're trying to say. Okay, third one. Usage of exaggeration. Content. Within a limit. Yeah, don't cross that. Be on the safer zone. Next. Wordplay. Don't go beyond 3 characters, power of 3. What are the few pointers which you need to keep in mind while drafting your speech? Actions speak better. Better you go. That's what he's saying. Actions speak better. Slapstick comedy you can implement. They are more of actions. Catchy title. Opening conclusion. You can have a bang on opening conclusion and then practice self-deprecating humor. Another one? Know your audience. That's very, very important. Know your audience. Okay. So we are left with 5 minutes, right? Okay. So I can open it for questions before I finally conclude my session.
I have a question for slapstick comedy. Usually when we say slapstick, we refer to something for nobody. One person only for that slapstick.
No, now I did it right with my action. So slapstick comedy is that without words, you can make people laugh. How Charlie Chaplin does. If you want to do 2 characters, you make sure that you practice that role play and you can deliver it. Not a problem. But there is one catch is, again, know your audience comes to it. Here, people know Sendil comedy, but if you are going to the higher stages like area division, you might fall for that. Okay. So you should make sure that you catch a common figure and then practice it. Yeah, you can have multiple. You can have 2-3 people doing everything.
So one person assuming.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do that role play also. There is no limit. You can do whatever you want. I said it right. Be that illogical, be that stupid person so that you can make the audience stupid to fall into your way. That's the famous line which one of the stand-up comedians always says.
Coming to contest, they say contest original. Right? Always the problem is whenever I think I get some influence of say crazy moment or whatever, there's science in this thing. So sometimes it goes like they're copying from someone. Right? So how do we figure out of it?
No, that's what in Toastmasters, in the contest, you're 75% should be your own content or your own personal experience, and 25% you can make it a copy of it. That's not a problem. See, some example you need to refer Crazy Mohan. Sometimes we refer Vadivelu, everything, right? All this was like, no, it became a so. It's not a word. It became so emotion, right? So you can refer those characters. There is no problem. Right? Make sure that it doesn't cross beyond 20%. See, if you're writing a script, so suppose, say, for example, your script comes for 6 minutes and you have written, say, 600 words out of it. Okay, you can always refer. So you can have one character for Senthil, one character Crazy Mohan, one character Vadivelu, all these things, but make sure that it doesn't cross the 20%. So don't make sure that it doesn't cross 80 words of those things. You can still go with it. So you are allowed to give 20%. That's not a problem. And final part, anybody has any other questions? People who are there online? Or anyone else has any other questions before we wind up? Yeah.
How to choose the theme, topic, many things.
Yeah. How to choose a topic or a title or the content?
Not the title, the theme of
Entire speech, what you wanted. That's what my final point was, right, about to fill it up. So generally people have this question, Sriram, you can take a topic, don't go with it. Generally, I advise people that don't come up with a cliche topics like girlfriend story, marriage story. All these are all cliche. Now people know, they have heard umpty number of it. People want something new. Like how Shamraj came in the time with the Max experience, where I came in with an experience of having a haircut in the salon. One person came with a babysitting. And this time the champion Toastmaster Satya came with a different topic of having how we are suffering from the people who's coming for rented house. Right? So these are the small things which generally happens throughout our life. So what generally we need to do is just close your eyes. 2 minutes, you just recollect all the things which have given you maximum pain, which have given you maximum embarrassment, where you are like, I want to hit Lakshmi Narayan for calling me for a session. So you should be in that. Those are the incidents which you can collect and prepare a wonderful humor. Karthik Mohandas always says to me that more you show your pain, more the laughter you get. Okay, if you take any stand-up comedy show or you take Vadivelu, what he does generally on the screen, he's getting beaten by everyone and we are laughing at it. Right? No, we just laugh out of it. Right? So make sure that which brought you more embarrassment, more pain. It was like, that's where you get a wonderful humor story. Simple example, I will say, 2 days back, we had the Queen Elizabeth passing away. Does anyone feel sad about it? Everybody are doing memes and trolls about her. Right? So that's where you get from your pain, you get a lot of story. Simple things, whatever have been observed, just note it down and then phrase it across. Right? That would be a simple story. You don't need to think, you don't need to overthink at all, Sharat. Just think about the things which brought me too much. Even you have been a VP mem. I have seen a person given a humorous speech about VP education and VP membership as well. Right? So don't worry. You can just illustrate your 6 months, so this 3 months of your VPM. You know what? When I was landing, he said, "Nala nariya guest irukanga, na ellarkitte number note pananum." That's what he said. Ma'am, you didn't understand it, right? That's a problem of know your audience. I want to stress it across. Okay, so he is a VPM of this club. You're aware of it. You're a part of this club, right? So he's a VPM. So I came at 3:30. So he was like rushing, coming to bike. He stopped it. And I said, "Hey, Sharath, can we go? Can we go and have a cup of tea?" "No, sir, there are a lot of guests waiting upstairs. I need to get their contact details. I am the VPM." He came over here. And you know what the rest is all about. This itself is getting a humorous plot for you. Okay, so this is how you can do. Just observe what are the things that actually happens around you. You get a very good few techniques. Is like doing a babysitting. You get it. Okay, now there might be a one colleague of you who's just troubling you a lot. And even I can get a speech of what he said about giving him money and how I am facing tough times. You can make lots and lots of humorous stories is all about. Even from my session also, you can, this 30 minutes also, you can have a humorous story. Like we did one for him, right? He was like, action speaker last, get lost, Sriram. So he did that action, right? By showing me red card. See how it can. So we can have a lot of things. And at the end, you can, Lakshmi comes and say, what a brilliant session. I have a lot of takeaways, Sriram, how not to take in session from you. You can have it. And one more funny incident I can also share is that when I took a session in one of the clubs, I got a gift from them and it was a book. I don't know what book you are going to give right now. Okay, when I opened the cover, it was saying how to take an effective presentation. That was a book title. Literally, it happened to me. So from this, I'm using that example here to generate laughter. Okay, so it's just happening around me, nothing else, right? And I pretty well remember that there was my so-called mentee. I feel so proud. No, the CCL is all about his sweet revenge time. Generally, how many of you are married over here? I'm not going to say any jokes about marriage at all. Don't worry, I'll leave you in peace. Okay. But this thing is like, I don't know how much torture he underwent with his wife, but the CCCL speech was all about how he's not teaching car driving to his wife. That was a speech all about. So he literally bombed her wife. Luckily that his wife did not saw the speech, else it would be, there will be in the Supreme Court only having the divorce case, but literally he bombed. So he used that forum to take sweet revenge on her. So you can do whatever things you want, right? It's just happening around. That's it. He's saying your time is up. Any other questions before you wind up? Anybody who has a question who's there in the online group? We have a person with beard. I don't know who is it. I hope nobody has it. I think Anushri has a question. Her question was when you will finish the session. Still, you can get a comedy from this as well, Sharath. Okay, it's all happening around. Any questions from people who are there online? So that is a perfect example of aglitter. Word of the day. She was so worried that nobody have used that word aglitter. But when you are said, ma'am, that's a problem. That's also one of the word plays. She was saying aglitter, aglitter. I was hearing as ugly eater, ugly eater. Who is that ugly eater? So it's got aglitter. Cool. So they don't have any questions. Any questions here before we wind up, before we are running short of time? Yes, sir.
First 3 minutes, you are not able to make the audience laugh. Can you change the...
Don't worry. Last 3 minutes, if you are able to pull laughter, that's what happened today, right? That's what happened today. Last 5 minutes only, you are all laughing. First 25 minutes, nobody didn't understand. Especially this guy slipped. I only reminded him to show the green card. Then only he said, sir, only 15 minutes you have spoken. Then he showed the green card. Don't worry, I'm just literally pulling your leg. Okay. So there is nothing. If you are confident with your script, no problem at all. I have seen a lot of speakers where the first 5 minutes, even when the green light was shown, there was no laughter. But the last 2 minutes, they just literally bombed the audience. It was killer for last 2 minutes. That's why I say, you're right. Your first 1 minute and your last 1 minute should be killer statements. You can easily crack out of it. And one more thing, what I want to say is there is one thing called long time jokes and intelligent jokes. You know what's the meaning of long time jokes, right? So in contest, generally the jokes with the unexpected phrase, if it comes beyond 1 minute, so don't go about it. So you're left with, say, 6 minutes of average time, 5 to 7 minutes, you're left with 6 minutes, out of which make sure that beyond like every 45 minutes, at least you have a joke in your script. Forget about whether audience laugh or not. They will not laugh for you. Satish speaking, I will never laugh. I will have my, they will come in the BGP wax statue man and all will come inside them. They won't laugh, but don't worry. So make sure that every 45 seconds, you have a joke in your statement. So that 45 minutes means at least you will have 6 to 8 jokes, so that at least audience would laugh for at least 4 of your jokes. You will be placed in top 3. Okay, so don't go beyond 45 seconds of your incidents or explaining your character. But if you are going to get every 20 seconds, 30 seconds, that's superb. There is one speaker from Medley who was a bald-headed. Every 20 seconds, he was generating a laughter from his speech in the district contest 2019. So Alagappan, his name was. So you can do it. That's between the judges. You leave it. Your job is to put audience laughter. Let the judges be so intelligent, like a VP education officer, that they derive whether it's a humorous speech or a stand-up comedy. Okay, but that's one thing which I wanted to say at the end. There is a difference between stand-up comedy and then humorous speech. Ours is a humorous speech. So which means that it's a speech. It should have an opening. It should have a very good body material. Conclusion. Conclusion means at least you need to give one takeaway for the audience. Audience can be anything. Takeaway could be anything. At the end, like I said to Lakshmi, come and say, never ever we should call Sriram for the session. I hope the last 35 minutes would be the explanation. It could be a takeaway, or go and have Rava Dosa. It could be any takeaway, but try to give one takeaway. So it should be a speech. But stand-up comedy, there is no structure at all. There is no organization, no structure. First, they will speak about their school life. Next, they will speak about some accountant. Then they'll speak about Indian Prime Minister. Whatever things they do, there is no organization at all. It's all just clumsy. But what their aim is to give every 30 seconds a laughter. That's it. So that's stand-up comedy. But this is a speech. It should have a structure. Inside, you are going to make the audience laugh with your own content. That's the challenge with you. Okay. Any other questions which you have before we wind up? But anyway, after the thing is over, yeah. Toastmaster Satya. Hi, Satya. Hi, sir.
Thanks for the session today.
Satya, we couldn't hear you, Satya.
Is it better now?
It's better now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Shriram, thanks for the session. And I had one query to ask. In fact, this was a query asked by majority of the folks in the district 120. What should I choose if it is a hybrid option? Should I go for online or should I go for the in-person? If there is a hybrid option, which one is better to choose? I thought that this also help the CTM folks, so I asked this question.
Okay, so if I understand right, your question is, Satya, which mode you wanted to go, whether it's online mode or hybrid mode?
Given an option,
which option would I would suggest, right? If it comes to a humorous speech contest. Okay, that is actually a very interesting question. I think he's the current champion, so that's why he comes up with a lot of questions like this. So his question was, being a humorous speech, suppose this club is undergoing a contest, which mode would you, which is advisable, whether it's online mode or an hybrid mode? If it is a full offline mode, I would give 200% vote for that. But his question was whether it's online or humorous speech. Don't worry about the modes. As a contestant, which mode, sometimes you are not the decision maker. If the decision comes from top, there is no other go. But as a contestant, your mode be, you should always plan for the worst. You should always plan for the worst. I would suggest this one, probably this is a personal experience. Whenever I go before the contest, every time, say if the contest starts at 9 a.m., there would be a phone call at 8:30 a.m. from one of the Toastmasters, which is Shamraj. You know what he will say? Shriram, I don't call you to say you all the best or best of luck. I am here to say you that all the worst things would happen in your life. The current will go off. You will be placed the contestant number 1. When you are speaking in between, the internet connection would go. This is how he speaks. I will be like, Sham, are you going to wish me or going to put me in trouble? I'm already in a heat mode. So that's what he says, because I say this to you, Shriram, because you should plan for the worst. Imagine all these things are going to happen to you. Would you break your speech on the contest? That's a question which you'll ask. Would you going to break your speech? No, don't break it. Whatever was, even though 3 minutes audience are not laughing, Satish, don't worry, don't change your script. Go ahead. Okay, so prepare for the worst, whether it's online or hybrid, be prepared for both the things. If you have been given a chance, I would say online or hybrid, your aim is to create laughter. You can create laughter through online also, through hybrid also. But only thing, there should be proper accommodations. And that is left to the management, the contest management team to decide the proper accommodations. Suppose say, if there is suppose Satya is in online mode and we are doing it in offline mode. If Satya is not able to hear, imagine he is a judge. It becomes problem for him. So the contest management team should be so aware of giving them 100% efforts, make sure that it has a very good acoustics. On the whole, offline would be my 200% set. If not, I'm not so worried whether it's hybrid or online. My aim to come deliver a speech, and these people should be heard and create a laughter out of it. That's my answer, Satya. Prepare for the worst. As a champion, you are. Because through online, he won the contest. So is there any other questions which you want to ask? Anyone before we wind up? I think we are going out of time, right? He's becoming so furious right now. Yeah. He's like, please get out. Yeah, we'll get out. Just leaving for questions. I think there is no question answer. So final note, which I wanted to say for the contest, yes, prepare for the worst. And at the end, I would like to end by saying this small saying. There was a stand-up comedian who always used to say that he is the big boss in stand-up comedy. He's a big boss in stand-up comedy. So one press interviewer asked him, sir, how do you term yourself itself as a big boss? We need to say you. How can you yourself term it? He went on to him and gave him a response stating that, sir, I don't worry. I don't worry whether audience laugh behind me, at me, or with me. As long as I'm able to generate laughter around, I am the big boss. So think that you are the big boss. You are capable of delivering the best, even though it is worst. So think that you are the big boss. Go experience the stage. So as one says, destination is not the final. You need to enjoy your journey. So enjoy the contest journey. Who knows, tomorrow you might be the champion and I will be sitting as a guest listening your speech, like how today Satya is witnessing my speech, right? So with this note, thank you so much for patiently listening. I hope I have not made you a patient. And thank you so much. And with this, I hand over the control back to Toastmaster of the day, who knows me very well.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sriram sir, for the wonderful educational session and the points we gathered. We learned so much from you for the humorous session. And I would like to call our Toastmaster, President Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan to facilitate our educational speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Sriram.
Thank you so much.
And it's the time to know the sentence meaning. I think more or less more of us are furious to learn the sentence meaning. And the meaning will be a buffalo referring the city, first buffalo, and the second will be the animal, third will be again the city, fourth will be again the animal, and fifth will be a buffalo called verb, sixth also the verb, seventh will be the city, and eighth again will be the animal. So it comes under buffalo, 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 and buffalo, 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 buffalo. No, buffalo, bison, that another buffalo, bison, bully, also bully, buffalo, bison. It is the original meaning for that catchy phrase. And I would like to hand over the session to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Lakshmi Narayan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, everyone, once again. And I want to say special thanks to GTM Sriram for coming up and giving an excellent education session. Jokes apart, we really enjoyed it. As the President used to say, humor is a serious business. Like it was really a very serious thing we need to take care of. But you rendered this education session in a very humorous way. Thank you so much. And thanks, Satya, for joining us. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. So I just remember one incident. Since you gave this education, I remember one incident. One of my dad's father's friend used to give a lot of, speak something such a way that we all believe, something like a tall tale story. He gives a lot of exaggerations. Once he was telling that about his forefathers, he was just a bus conductor at that time. He said like his grandfather used to have 100 ships. They used to export salt to all over the world. He says they were the only exporters of salt those days. And I used to amuse like how is it possible? And he said like one night all the ship got wrecked and it submerged into the sea. And we were not able to believe him. Suddenly he said, I know you are not believing me. You go and taste the sea water, even though it will be very salty. It's because of our shipwreckage. So these are such kind of humors which we don't know whether to laugh or we take it very serious those days. But thank you, Sriram. I think some of the points I'm really noting down because we are going to have a contest. Maybe I can announce it also. We are going to have a humorous speech contest next week, 18 September, Sunday at YWCA. It's going to be completely physical contest. We are not going to have hybrid or online. It's going to be completely physical. So answering to the first question, like, is this physical or online? It's going to be physical. It's a decision by club. Maybe for area contest, we might go for online as well. So with that, it's time to get feedback from the guests. So we don't have guests here. Any guests from online? Okay, let's start with, we have Anushri. Hi, Anushri. Hi. So I hope you're enjoying this meeting. Please, can you give your suggestions and feedbacks on how you enjoy this meeting? You are on mute. Sorry, Anushri, you are on mute. Yeah, you can go ahead.
I believe no words from her to praise Sriram session, Lakshmi.
Yeah, sorry. Really sorry. The audio here is a little bad, so we're not able to get what you're speaking. So maybe we'll get it from the recording session later. Thank you, Anushri. Thank you so much. And guest Hemanjali Adini, so do you have any suggestions, feedback?
Hi, this session was really good. I have learned a lot, like how the speech we talk and what and all words that we could use, and regarding stand-up comedy. This was a really knowledgeable session for me. I think I don't know like what suggestion to give. I think you could. I just don't know what suggestion to give. It was a really a nice one. Yeah, in general. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guest Hemanjali. Thank you so much. I think now it's time to. Okay. Okay, as I mentioned, we are going to have the contest next week in YWCA. So we'll be starting this contest by 3:30 p.m. So those who are interested, you can please visit. Satya, I just give you invitation here. You can visit our contest if you want in YWCA Sunday. So it's going to be completely physical. It's been a long time we had a physical contest. So that is one of the reasons we chose to have a physical contest this time. So let's see how it goes. Well, so I'm taking reference from Satya and Sriram. I've witnessed your speeches last time also, and also during this D120 award session. So we really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Okay, just give me a second. So now it's time to announce the results for today's meeting. And today, let me begin with the role player, the best tag player. The best tag player between the timer, accounter, and grammarian. And today it's our grammarian Toastmaster Lakshmi. Okay, I will wait for her. She's to join. Toastmaster Lakshmi, the best. And the best role player between the Toastmaster of the Day, General Evaluator, and Table Topic Master is Toastmaster Naveen. Thank you. And the best table topic speaker for today's Toastmaster Nanda. Thank you. The best evaluator as a Toastmaster Sarath. The last part is the best speaker among two speakers. The best speaker is Toastmaster Geeta. Okay, okay. It's okay. Thank you. So with that, we are coming to the end of this meeting. I adjourn the meeting for next week. And I just request everyone to turn on the camera so that we'll have a group photo. And we'll be having snacks for those who are here in physical meeting. And online people, you'll miss the snacks.
Smiley.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Satya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guests, for being online till the end.
Anushri, are you able to talk now?
Yes.
No, still we are not able to hear. Not sure why.
Sir, actually, Lakshmi sir, Satya ஏதோ communicate பண்ண நீங்க இங்க வந்திருக்கீங்களா?
Sorry?
இல்ல. Hi Satya.
புரியல ஜி, என்ன சொன்னீங்க?
வீடியோ பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா சார்? இல்ல ஒண்ணு இல்ல, நாங்க ஸ்நாக்ஸ் சாப்பிட போறோம்னு சொல்லியிருந்தோம், நீங்க மிஸ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டீங்க.
என்னோட ஸ்நாக்ஸ் ஸ்ரீராம் கிட்ட கொடுத்துருங்க என் சார்பா.
சரி, நாங்க ஆல்ரெடி அபிலாஷோட கோட்டா கொடுக்கலாம்னு இருக்கோம். நாங்க
அபி இருக்காராங்க?
வரல இன்னைக்கு.
இன்னைக்கு வரலையா? ஓகே.
சத்யா பாருங்க சத்யா, மாலைபட்சம் அதுவுமா ஸ்நாக்ஸ் கொடுக்குறாங்க, என்ன பண்ணுங்க?
ஓ, ஆரம்பிச்சிருச்சா? ஓகே. Okay, enjoy the snacks and have a good time. Anushri, if you are able to talk now, you can still pass on your feedback to the president. Speak up.
Sorry.
No, there is a mission.
I think that's a problem with her, and then Anushri said that we are not able to. Anushri, we are not able to hear what you said. Now also you are talking something, you are scolding me something, but you are not able to.
Anushri, maybe you remove the headphone you use.
No, that's her hairstyle. She has spent 1,800 and got it cut it, and you are just saying that it's a headphone. Anushri, you need to probably reconnect later, or you can pass on the feedback online.
Okay. Okay, thank you all.
Bye.
With this, we are closing.